Welcome to Skill Sprint with me, Chris Webber. This video is a quick highlight reel of my latest episode of the Commercial Edge podcast. I use my notes and scribbles from the full-length conversation to pull out what I feel are the headlines and lessons from my most recent expert guest. Drawing on my experience, this video gives you all the key points without the stories. My hope is that you can use these tips and tricks to unleash the power of your people. This series of the podcast is all about accountability, and today I spoke with Mark Herbert. Mark is a coach and leadership coach, and he focuses on helping people to make better decisions, which is an amazingly detailed and fascinating topic. And we took him slightly off piece today and asked him to talk about accountability. Well, it really wasn't off piece at all. We had a really in-depth conversation about leadership, about accountability in leadership, and about the behaviors that are associated with that. I mean, Mark himself is a fascinating character. He was a teacher. He's also been a church pastor, and he's written a book on leadership, which he did during lockdown after he'd had some surgery on his foot. The other thing that I loved about the conversation that Mark had was that he started off by giving us an example of something, and he said accountability, in his words, is very important, but it's not necessarily something that he's good at. And I think just that level of humility at the start was so insightful as we went through the rest of the episode talking about accountability, because it really opened the door for him to work with his business partner, to work with his clients, and to live the dreams that they have, the missions that they have around accountability and around performance, because he's basically saying to us, yeah, I'm not great at this, so I need other people to hold me accountable for it. Outstanding messages for me were some really interesting ones. They do a lot of work on values, not uncommon. I know lots of leadership businesses focus on values and values within the organization. But what they do is they take it a step further, and they talk about what behaviors, what actions are these values going to influence over the next few weeks. The great example that he gave us how this lives is their own organization. So him and his business partner, one of their values is to walk alongside their clients and to walk alongside each other. That's a value that they hold. How are they held accountable to that? Is that they put in actions that mean that they are actually walking alongside each other. So, for example, they take an hour on a Monday morning and 30 minutes on a Friday afternoon to connect with each other. On the Monday morning, they talk about what's happened last week, what went well, what didn't go so well, and they look ahead to the coming week. They ask if they need any help, they share and offer support to each other, and they just take time to look at what's going on and what objectives they're focusing on at the moment. And the Friday afternoon is a way to bracket the week, is 30 minutes just to check in, just to see how things have gone and anything that they need to focus on over the next weekend and over the next week. And I think that's really walking alongside each other, really connecting with each other. And in those conversations, Mark gave some wonderful examples of how they'll call each other out. You know, your diary is really full right now. You need to take a break. You need to create some space to focus on other tasks, really to challenge each other and to champion each other. And then he gave an example of walking alongside clients. Walking alongside clients where they will connect with the team following a workshop, do an event with somebody, then connect with the group following that. They will ask questions of people. What are you doing right now? What have you done differently? How are you implementing the things that we talked about during our program? And additionally, his calendar is full of these various different reminders and nudges, as he called them, to remind him to contact with somebody, to check in with someone, so that they really are walking together through this journey of change, through this journey of leadership. And to me, that was just some really simple but really powerful examples of how you take values you put behaviors alongside those values, and then they're allowed to be measured. They're easy to measure and track and be accountable for the things that you say are important and valuable. Such a great conversation with Mark. We went into so many different other areas there, and so many insights. Very well worth a listen to the full episode if you're interested in values, in leadership, in humility within leadership, and some various kind of concepts of leadership, like the buck stops here and sitting at the top of the pyramid. We had some interesting conversations about whether those things are actually true or not. Great lessons, and I'm really looking forward to our next episode on accountability, because we're going in so many different areas with this theory, with this topic, and so much insight here that I can't wait to hear what else we're going to discuss.